Well, hi and welcome to my shop. And today is April 11th, and what I'm hoping to do today at the very least is the IF alignment on this radio and perhaps the entire alignment of the radio. So I'm just getting ready to start here on that, and I looked over at that antenna and I noticed something very interesting about it, which I think I've noticed on other antennas but never paid any attention. So let's take a close look at the radio antenna. Now, what I find really interesting is this. Now, what is happening here? So it looks to me like this is not an accident by any means. This is glue here that's been applied. I'm going to guess that this is a factory antenna tuning operation in which these internal turns are pulled away to affect the impedance of the coil and then glued in place. Is that really the case? I don't know, but what is that otherwise? That has to be what that is. So I think I've seen this on other antennas and never paid any attention. I always just kind of thought in the back of my mind that some kind of damage had occurred. But I don't think so now. I think that's a tuning deal. So I'm going to get this guy ready for alignment. I have to feed a signal into one of the tubes, IF signal into one of the tubes, and then from there adjust the two transformers that are here, and that's what I'm going to do. You never know where the challenges are going to come from with these radios. So here on the chassis is a sticker. Chassis 6J05, and that's a chassis that contains the 6 BJ6 tubes, not the 12 BA6 that are in here. Here's a schematic that actually has the right tubes on it. So this one is supposedly model 6G05, not J05, but on here are the 12 BA6s. So I have to think, well, wonder what happened here. The wrong sticker got on the chassis. So what's happening here? My mouse is misbehaving. Okay, so and then the other thing is the resistor is missing down here. That's in the on the other schematic. Otherwise, this is, I think, identical. The diagram's drawn just slightly differently. Make things a little more apparent. We could still have trouble in this guy. This guy here. So we want to do the alignment. So we come down here. Shows us the position of different things. A stringing diagram. Here we are. Oscillator detector antenna. Okay, great. This is demonstrating how to reach both slugs with one tool from the top. That's what they're trying to show there. The IF transformers incorporated in this receiver are of the new permeability tuned type, which means they have a slug in them. The advantage of an IF transformer of this type is its extreme stability under various humidity and temperature conditions. So I guess the other type is the type with the trimmer capacitor mounted on the top. The upper coil is the secondary, lower coil is the primary. When adjusting these IF transformers, use tuning wrench so-and-so. I have one that'll work. Rotate until maximum output is obtained, then drop down lower, same operation repeated. Tuning wrench is so designed that turning one slug does not affect the adjustment of the other. You have to be a little bit careful about that. So first operation, converter tube, dummy antenna. Oh, okay, connect oscillator to converter grid, but they don't give you much instructions on that, so I'll use a capacitor and stick it on there. Dummy antenna, 0.5. I don't know what they're talking about there. This radio has a loop. Are they saying to put this across the loop? I'm not sure what they mean by that. Dummy antenna. This term is a dummy term. you never know what they really mean when they say dummy antenna. But this looks like you're supposed to put a 0.5 across it. That makes some sense, because that would snuff out the antenna signal, I would think. Input signal frequency 455. Dial set with the capacitor closed. You know, I've noticed from radio to radio that this varies. It can be open, it can be closed. Sometimes it says turn dial to a place where there's no signal to be picked up. Trimmers for IF alignment. Okay, so we can stick a 0.5 on the antenna, and or I could actually just, you know what, I got clip leads going to the antenna. I could literally disconnect it. You know what, that might affect the front end though. Like if you fiddle with this, you're fiddling with the tuning rate here. Of course, we're not fiddling with this. I mean, fiddling with this won't matter in the IF rate at this stage. Later it matters. So the suggestion is send the signal in on the grid number 3 here on the 12BE6, which is pin 7. Yeah, it says right there, pin 7. Okay, let's set up for that. Pin 7 on the converter tube is right there. Pin 7 has a wire connected to it. Maybe a better place to hook up. No. So we'll go right on pin 7 with a capacitor. How am I going to get this to... So I want to stand the radio up. Now, doing the IF alignment's fine with the antenna where it is, or anywhere really. I think we're all set here. Just a little hesitant today. And it's B minus. It's B minus, B minus. I need to put a B minus clip lead on there. Lots of places to pick up B minus. I could do it right here. There we go. B minus. Worst clip leads ever made. There we go. Oh. There we go. Okay. Now, the signal generator is a little high here. Okay, if we're right in the range there. Very good. I think we're set to start up. And then I'll put a capacitor on. Let's do that. Yeah. Capacitor across the antenna. There'll be no antenna on this radio when I do this. I think that effectively takes care of that. We're ready. Okay, power on. Dim lights. Power on. Good. All normal. Pretty dead. This is still going to work as some amount of antenna here. Okay. Now we'll try connecting this. Just touch it. Ooh. Okay, so we'll cut it right up. Wow. Okay, so we're at 426 on the signal generator here. Seems pretty good. Now I haven't hooked up the meter here. You need the audio meter operating. Put this guy over here. I'm going to use my more reliable meter. My older, more reliable meter. Big static discharge there, I think. Made that sound. Okay, onto the speaker. Now, wait a minute. This is the radio with the. Is there a ground issue on the speaker here? I just got to peek at the schematic for just a second here, all by my little lonesome. Speaker is completely isolated. Okay. That's good. No concerns about hooking this up. No effect. Now we want to make sure the meter is reacting to the modulated sound here. By varying the modulation. Very good. Modulation set at 35% there. Okay, now we can watch the meter and kind of tell where the peak really is here. Okay. Now, there's a heterodyne tone in there. $457. A little high. So we'll set this to, this is 455, even though it says 54. Let me turn this down so we're not listening to it quite so much. Now, start adjusting. I have another camera here I can use for that. Let's try that. Okay. Top, then bottom. Second first. Second first, top. Here we go. Oh, you can't see the meter now. That's no fun. That's no fun. There we go. Now you can see what my hand's doing and see what the meter's doing. So top slug first. Sticky. There it goes. Very, very sticky. Down. What's happening here? Something funny about this. Something funny about that. I think this thing is right at a limit. I think the slug is right at a limit here. Okay, let's go to the lower one. Oh, it's barely turning. What is going on in this thing? There we go. That's right on. That was right on. Okay, not going so well. Let's try the other one. This turns really smooth. This is beautiful. You can see it. Now we'll go down to the bottom. Okay, wait. See, I'm at the top, in between, into the next one. Maybe I didn't have the tool in right on the other. Okay, let's go back and try the other. The top one. Wow, it just will not move. No, it's just, I can see it's right up at the top here. Okay, so we'll go down through that. Okay, we're in between. Go into the next slug. I'm in the next slug now. Yeah, that's definitely fine. Just try this top one again. Ooh, that didn't sound very good. Yeah, I don't think I can get that slug to move anywhere. We got somewhat of an improvement here. Just double check. Okay, this is saying there's just a little more to get out of it. I'll go back to this one. Top. Bottom. More on the bottom one there. Top. I think that's pretty good. Okay, how about a little listening test now? Turn this down. Turn this out. Take off the antenna short here. I'm just going to use these clip leads to go over to the antenna. It's not particularly... Well, I don't know if these wires lengths really make a difference here. They probably don't. Okay. Antenna connected here. Okay, let's see what we can get out of this radio now. I can make my mouse work. I can't make my computer work here. There we go. French station. Okay, so I think that's pretty conclusive. It's not receiving very well at all right now, so more alignment is probably gonna correct that. Well, the next challenge is figuring out when the radio is tuned to 1600. Is it all the way open at 1600? Bear in mind this pointer is completely random where it's pointing right now. So we look at the cabinet. You see 1600 is not level. It's up on an angle. So, but then again, the capacitor could be, like it is now, completely open, and the pointer could just be up. So the pointer would stop right at 1600, wouldn't go any further. I've also noticed in the cabinet here, they have a pointer slot on both sides here. I believe the idea is to fish the pointer down through there, not do what I do. I just yanked this thing right out. I'm lucky I didn't damage the radio. I'm not sure about that, how that works exactly. In fact, you know, that's crap. Oh, wait a minute. So there's a big split here in the ring. A little hard to see. Yeah, so the ring is continuous here. You can't get the pointer through, but you could over here. That must be the plan. So the pointer, you know, for that to work, the pointer has to come all the way horizontal on this side. Has to actually go below. Has to go below. Well, that doesn't make much sense, does it? No, not at all. There's no way this is going to be down here. So another way to do this is to make sure it's kind of, you know, the same. It's symmetrical in its rotation. You know, I looked for instructions on how to set the pointer. There aren't any. And the paint is chipped away right in here, probably from the bending of the pointer. That might even indicate the metal is weakened here. I'm going to bend that again. So that's about symmetrical there, wouldn't you say? No, not quite. Pretty symmetrical there. So I think that would be pointing at 55, I'd say, not I think it's supposed to go to 530. If we go over this way, yeah, that's pointing at 160 or 1600. Well, I'm not sure what to do. Let's assume 16. Sometimes sometimes the radio's range is stated in the manual. Let me take a peek at that. They like to boast about the range. Tuning range 535 to 1620. So, okay, 1620 would be at the top then, I would think. That's what that means. And 1620, looking at this again, 1620. So 14, 15, 16, 20, it's a little bit further on from the 160 there. And it goes to 535. He's similar on the other side, a little bit past. So I think doing the balance thing is probably the best thing, the symmetrical thing. And 1620 at the top. So what we'll do is, these things are not good to adjust right at the extent of the capacitor. The capacitor should be back a little bit anyway. But I see there's instructions to do 1600 and then do some more at 14. Do some more stuff at 14. So, well, let's see if this is 1620 to start off with. Let's find out. So I have a little loop here from my signal generator, and this is the radio antenna. I'm going to try to pass the signal through. Not happy yet. So we can see what's been done here. Even though it's a little weak, the radio's been aligned with 1600 at the top. The range is actually 1620. So maybe somebody previous to me didn't think this thing entirely through at this point, or I'm about to make a mistake, but I think this should be 1620. If we just go back a little bit, put this out to 1620, and jack it up. Oh, I can't, it's full blast here pretty well. Give it a little more. And we'll try to adjust the oscillator. See if we can tune this guy in. This is the oscillator. Yeah, oscillator for sure. Okay, I like that for 1620. Now we're going to go back to 1600. We're just going to have to trust that where'd you go? That's a noise right there. That's better. Okay, so we're not adjusting an oscillator now, it's a matter of aligning the other circuits. Next item on the chart is, first item, C4 set oscillator, did that. Next one, C3 detector alignment, 1400. It's just these next two screws. I'm going to use a metal screwdriver here. See if I can find one worth using. Doesn't seem to make any difference. And the last one. So this is the antenna adjustment, and here's the antenna here with the wrong wires on it and sitting far from the radio chassis. If we bring this up towards the chassis, Just wants to go way open. So, set this in the middle of its range. Tune the radio. I don't think I'm going to get anywhere here. Move the oscillator slightly. I don't think this is going to do any good. Okay. At the top. Go! There's everything. 1630 at the top now. At the bottom. $535. Now what's with this like I hear this tone. So I've taught myself a lesson on that. I think that means the IF is oscillating. What if we make that oscillation parent and then fiddle around with the IF? Not that one. It's too tough. Fiddle with this one. I think that's noise. Let's try this spot here. So there still is a bit of a heterodyne there. Not much though. Okay, Mr. Radio, let's see if you can pick some stuff up. Put this antenna back here. Picking up my signal generator. It's a little better. That heterodyne tone, is that from noise or is that the radio?
For Canadian businesses, Finance Minister Bill Morneau explains if they've seen a 15% reduction in revenues this March or 30% reduction in revenues in April or May. Businesses can do this by comparing their revenues to the same month last year or the average revenues of January and February of this year. The wage subsidy will provide up to $847 a week per employee for up to 12 weeks. And Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will make his daily address on the floor of the House of Commons just in about 10 minutes. To the U.S. where New York...
Oh, gotta go. Oh, he's going to be in the House of Commons today instead of our Prime Minister has spent the last, I don't know, month at his house. First in isolation and more recently just carried on doing his work. But I guess we've had to call back our Parliament to pass more emergency laws. Okay, that's great. That's not bad. That's not bad right now. Okay, I've got the radio all back together, and time for a test. There we go. Watch the light there. So it is true that this pointer needs to be moved all the way horizontal. In fact, it has to be rotated on the shaft to get it down this far. You put the chassis back in, then you have to rotate the pointer back up. So is the pointer in the right spot? Almost certainly not. But we'll get it there in a moment. So we're listening to 860. So bearing in mind that this is in my shop, this is actually not doing too bad. Why don't we give it a little boost here? I'll just put this guy back here.
By the way, Trump will use this in the matter of trade, and economies are isolating. I want to be in the biggest isolated environment there is, that is America. So, I will enhance my focus in the U.S. market.
How much of a challenge is it going to prove to be for the economies of Canada and the United States to reason? I suppose what happens here will be dependent in large order on what happens in the United States. That's just my guess. But where do you see the greatest challenges in restarting our economy?
Well, it's interesting because that's something government can't do. That's going to come down to businesses. And smaller businesses are the most vulnerable. That restaurant, that hardware store, mind you, they've kept open right until now. They still are basically in business. But some of them aren't going to be there. I mean, they just may not be. They may go through this trough, but just not have enough cash at the end of it. So, but I think the small business, despite being most vulnerable, that's the quickest to restart. You can open that restaurant tomorrow morning if this isolation business is terminated. So they can turn quickly. Financial services, they'll be fine. I think the U.S. economy can get going. It'll be slow at first, function in 2 cylinders, then 3, then 4, and sort of work its way through. When we come off this, but again, timing is key. And you have that dynamic in Washington, between the administration wanting to end it sooner than later, and the health officials wanting to be maybe over secure. And I understand that, because if you get rid of this quarantine and this comes back, it's going to be really hard to reinstitute that quarantine. So,
okay, that's good enough. Good enough for me. Great. So I got to go find another radio now. By the way, you don't hear it being talked about very much, but there's a very high potential for a much stronger resurgence in November of that thing. So pay attention to that. What's happened just now is kind of like a warm-up. Yeah, isn't that terrible? That's a terrible way to end your video, Jim, but that's how it's going to end. So Great, I'm on my way to getting another radio, bring it in here, and see what we're going to work on next. Speaking about what's next, here's what's next. Look at this radio. Wow. That's as heavy as can be, too. So that's the next radio I'm going to be working on. Thanks a lot for watching the series. Have a great day.